South African dance music fans and DJs have been amongst those paying tribute to Swedish superstar DJ Avicii. He was found dead in a hotel room in Oman last night. Now, DJ Fresh, superstar DJ in South Africa and indeed across the world, he joins us now via Skype for his reaction. Thank you so much for joining us. You must have been quite shocked by the news of Avicii's passing, even though we believe that he was ill for some time.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, his health had been waning for the longest time. I mean, 2 years ago, he retired from pretty much gigging. So his health wasn't the best. But just, you don't expect someone so young to leave so soon. So it's still a shock.
You posted quite a fitting montage on your social media platforms a while ago, remembering Avicii's tour here to South Africa back in 2012. What made that tour so special?
You know what? Because, I mean, EDM was starting to be a global phenomenon. In fact, it's people like Avicii that help dance music become what it's become, for instance, in the USA. Because dance music, house music has always never been mainstream in the US. So it was talents, like your Avicii's, your Martin Garrix's that almost made it mainstream. So, he came to South Africa at the height of his career. I mean, Levels had been out for, I think, less than a year. So, when he came here, we were ready for him. We were ripe. The world was baying for his music. So, just the fact that we got to be a part of his world tour at the time that he came here was very special. And I did all 3 cities with him. So it was quite a special time.
I believe some people on Twitter were writing to you saying that you were one of the people that introduced Avicii's music to South Africa. Can you remember when you first heard him play and what made you believe that this guy was going to be huge?
You know what? Because I did a drive show at 5FM at the time, we played a lot of EDM. And I mean, he's one of the kids that, the minute his music dropped, we knew there was something special about him. So, we've always been on the cutting edge of especially electronic dance music as a station. So for a lot of kids, especially black kids that were not necessarily exposed to EDM before, that's what was one of the introductions to EDM through Avicii's music and other music that came out at the time. So, looking at probably between 2009 and 2013, I'd say, was probably the height of his production. And then he went obviously very, I'd say, pop when he did Wake Me Up. So, a lot of diehard fans felt that he sold out when he did Wake Me Up because it was more of like country EDM. But the world was ready for it. And like I said, was it not for people like him, nobody would have broken into the American market at the level that they have now. I mean, in the US alone, EDM is $1 billion industry now. I was at Ultra Music Fest, 3 weeks ago in Miami. They had, I think, about 200,000 kids who came out to listen to EDM over 3 days. I mean, that's how massive it is now. And I think were it not for trailblazers like Avicii, I don't think EDM would be where it is right now. The
outpouring of tributes has been immense. One can only say that the DJs of the modern era are like the Pied Pipers of the youth. It's that you create the soundtrack that so many people remember their youth by. He's going to leave quite a big gap for many people, isn't he?
I think as much as he's going to leave a gap, I think the legacy that is his music, the legacy that is the inspiration that he injected into so many people's dreams to make music, especially young kids. I mean, right now, just in South Africa alone, there's so many teenage kids that are making incredible music. And I think it's, from seeing people like Avicii, seeing kids like Martin Garrix, seeing kids like Tulo De Song, taking the world by storm, that says, listen, I too can do this. So I think his legacy is it's well cemented. I think it'll live on for at least another 100 years.
It seemed he wasn't afraid to push the envelope and to evolve. Like you said, he was doing something like country pop, and DJ Black Coffee on social media shared a WhatsApp conversation he had with him where Avicii said that he was experimenting with African rhythms. What do you think will be the abiding legacy of Avicii on music, not just on music, but also for you? What do you take away from your memory of your work with him?
I think the fact that despite how much of a talent or genius you may be, your humility will always carry you far. It will always be memorable. And I think across the planet, that's what a lot of, especially your high-flying DJs, that's one thing they'll always tell you about this kid, that he was always humble. He never let his own hype get ahead of him. He never allowed the fame to get to his head. He was always, ready to have a conversation. He was always ready to listen. He had no airs about him, and I think we can all learn from that, because a lot of us become so successful, we forget to almost touch base with ourselves, and he remained grounded. Even as his health failed him. I mean, I remember he was in Cape Town, I think it was in December, and he went to a black coffee event at, where was it, Shimmy Beach, and everyone that was at that event says he was so accessible, and despite the fact that you could see that he still wasn't 100%, he still took time to chat to people, to take pictures, and to socialize with people. And I think we can all learn from that.
We'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your time, DJ Fresh, sharing his memories of the work and the life of times of DJ superstar Avicii, who passed away yesterday.